Ever come across a beautiful girl that you just love to approach, but in the moment you're just crippled by your anxiety? Do you want to have the courage to approach any girl in any setting that you find attractive? No worries, we'll share how you can conquer your fears in this video. So definitely make sure you stick around until the end. So if you come across a pretty girl, please recognize that, more than likely other guys have identified her as being pretty as well. This is Gentlemen and Scholars, where we discuss dating, style, and personal development. So if you're into becoming a better version of yourself, definitely make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into today's video. So for today's topic, we're going over 10 tips to stop being afraid to approach girls. So for tip number 1, that is going to be to shift your mindset. Recognize that, when you do something like that, when you do have the courage to go approach that beautiful woman that, maybe everybody else is looking at, but they don't quite have the courage to go up and do it, and then you're the first one to do that, that really demonstrates, the fact that you believe in yourself and that you see yourself as a high value man. And I mean, to lead means to take initiative. So by you showing up and going for what you want and being the first one to make the approach, this is definitely going to be something that's noticed not only by the woman, but also everybody else that's in the room and maybe watching. And if you're ever wondering, yes, people are going to watch while you make that approach because, they may have been thinking the same thing themselves. Everybody notices when there's a beautiful woman in the room and, if she's a 10 out of 10, a lot of guys are going to have their eyes on that particular woman. So when you go up and make that approach and you do it confidently and, you know exactly what to say, they're going to be watching and learning from you. So tip number 2 for how to get rid of that approach anxiety, that's going to be to visualize a positive outcome. So when you're out and you see a woman that you really want to talk to, a really powerful strategy is to visualize your success, see all the things that, could happen if you do go up and, take that action and it works out positively. So, you want to be able to visualize these things and, stop thinking about all the negative things that could happen. Focus more so on the positive, because then this will give you even more of a push, even more of that courage to go over and make that approach. And while I don't want you to have a scarcity mindset, where you're going way out of your way, or you have those googly eyes where you're looking every which way, when you do see beautiful women in a room, you don't want to do that. You don't want to overdo it, but I do want you to recognize that, every day when you, pass up on opportunities, or you see that gorgeous woman and you want to go talk to her or make an approach, and you say, I'll do it next time, or, I'll pass up on that. Anytime you do that, just recognize that you could be passing up on the woman of your dreams. And, those type of women, you don't see them every day. So this should give you encouragement to actually show up and go for what you want. So tip number 3 for how to conquer that dreaded approach anxiety, that's going to be to always be practicing your social skills. Gents, this is very important. You can't expect yourself to be a wordsmith if you're not out here actually practicing those social skills. So, a great place to start could be, when you're out and you're making your purchases, whether it be at the grocery store, whether it be, you're shopping for clothes, you're at the mall, so on and so forth. Behind the counter, once you get to the register, just spark up a quick conversation with the person behind the counter. And, it's kind of their job to, be in customer service. In this case, you are the customer, so they should provide at least some level of service. So they'll, banter back and forth, or, you'll have a short conversation with them. And it's a great opportunity to hone your skills, and it's low risk because, again, you're the customer, so more than likely they're going to be at least somewhat decent to you. Another great place to practice your social skills is schools. So if you're a guy that's in college, this is one of the easiest places to meet not only women, but friends in general, because you all are coming from a similar background. Not a lot of people, go from high school and end up going to the same exact college. A lot of people are coming from out of state. They're coming from, different locations. So you're meeting different people. And a lot of these people do not have a social network Not yet. So this is a great place to, spark up a conversation and practice those social skills. And a lot of people are just wide open to, being talked to in those environments because, again, they're trying to make friends themselves. So, if you're a guy in a setting like this, recognize that it's so easy. You can go right up to a girl that you might find attractive and, spark up a conversation with her. And 9 times out of 10, she'll be, nice or somewhat receptive. So, again, it's very low risk. And again, I talked about this in my other videos, but if you're out, really, you should be, providing eye contact to the people that you see, shooting them a smile and see what they do. If they give you a smile back, this is, or could be, an invitation to spark up a conversation with that particular person. So, in the case of women, this could be an invitation to make an approach. But in the case of, different guys or different, people that you see on the street, this could be a great opportunity to start a brief conversation with them. So use this as an opportunity to hone in on those social skills. If you're struggling with your social life at all, I definitely encourage you to check out the video I made on building your social group. So I did a whole video really going through different key steps that you can take to build out not only a friend group, but also a quality friend group. People that will support you, that will be positive, that are driven, have things going on in their lives. These are the type of people that you want to surround yourself with. So if you're struggling with that, I'll go ahead and link that video so that you guys can check that one out. So for tip number 4, to get rid of that dreaded approach anxiety, that's going to be to recognize that other people are more than likely thinking exactly what you're thinking. So if you come across a pretty girl, please recognize that, more than likely other guys have identified her as being pretty as well. So, you should have no shame in your game. You should be okay with going right up to her and making an approach, because at the end of the day, you are doing what they lacked the courage to do. So you should not be ashamed of that. You should look at that and recognize that, you're inspiring others to do, something that they may have not had the courage to do themselves. So maybe the next time that they do see a beautiful woman, they won't think twice about going right up to her and saying, hey, what's up? All right, so tip number 5 that I have for you guys, that is going to be to warm up. So if you're struggling with approach anxiety, it's just terrifying to you, what you need to do is, get yourself warmed up. And by this, I mean, you're gonna want to, look at the people that, you come in contact with, make eye contact with them, shoot them a smile, see what they do. If they smile back, smile back at them, and then you can escalate it a little bit. You can shoot them a smile, see if they smile back. If they do, you can nod your head or shoot them a nice hello, and then, keep it moving. And then from there, you can gently escalate to where you're starting up a brief conversation with a stranger that does, say hello or, gives you a nod or shoots you a smile. That can allow you to warm up and get yourself comfortable in the approach. That way, when you do, make an approach on a woman that you do see that you're interested in, you've already been warmed up, you've already been practicing your social skills. That way, the conversation flows a lot smoother and there are less hiccups, and you don't have to worry about, oh, what do I say? Because you have been practicing your social skills that particular day. So you're already warmed up. And while you're getting yourself warmed up, you're talking to different people that, you see in passing or making brief conversation with them. Recognize that you don't have to ask them for their number or anything like that. So don't even worry about that aspect, particularly if you're worried about the risk of getting rejected. And what you'll start to notice is that most people are actually pretty nice, decent people. Of course you'll have your rare cases, but the majority of people that you come in contact with, they'll be happy to start a brief conversation with you, and you can make it short and sweet. But again, this will allow you to get more comfortable holding those types of conversations. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, subscribe to join the Gentlemen and Scholars family. And consider checking out the Gentlemen and Scholars Club website for free resources, Gentlemen and Scholars merch, book recommendations, consultation services, and our free Gentlemen and Scholars Ultimate Handbook, where you'll learn personal development tips on how to build a successful life and become the gentleman of your dreams, style tips to develop an eye-catching, attractive, and unique personal avatar, and dating tips to attract, court, and keep the woman of your dreams. Visit the Gentlemen and Scholars Club website for more. Now back to the video. All right, so number 6 on the list to overcome those dreaded approach anxieties, that is going to be positive affirmations. All right, so full transparency, I'm not one to go overboard with this, but I do see the value in, giving yourself encouragement or giving yourself that extra boost to go and accomplish an action that might seem difficult or, you might be struggling with. So, definitely use positive affirmations to get yourself over that hump. In the case of approaching, something I've done in the past where I'm trying to, get myself in a place where I feel comfortable to make that approach, I'll just say little short affirmations to myself or, make little comments like, Prince, you can do it, or, Prince, go over here, or, or quit acting like a wuss, or whatever the case may be. Just kind of giving myself that extra boost to go take that action. And then I can take it more confidently. And I really do find it helpful to help overcome those challenging situations. So tip number 7 that I have for you guys is to don't look at rejection as a failure. Just look at it as an opportunity to learn. Rejection is part of the game, gents. Really, this is something that's prevalent in all aspects of our lives, whether it be, you're driving down the street and, maybe you want to get into the other lane and then the other person kind of blocks you. So, they rejected you from getting into that lane, or, whatever the case may be, maybe you got rejected from a job, So this is just something that's a part of life. So it's not worth stressing over and, kind of beating yourself up over. But, there are opportunities to learn from these situations because, when you go up and make an approach, you can sit back and analyze, how that approach went and kind of tweak your game, perfect your game, and then you'll get better at it over time. Again, when you go up and, maybe you get stumped because she says something that you don't quite have a response for, you could take that moment and then go back, reflect on it, and come up with a response for that particular situation, so that when it shows up in the future, you're already ready, you're already prepared, and you know exactly what to say. Tip number 8 for overcoming that approach anxiety, that's going to be to not be attached to the outcome. So when you're going up and you're approaching a beautiful woman, really that's just a compatibility test. That's an opportunity for you to go and express your interest and then start up a brief conversation with that person. Number 1, to see if the conversation flows smoothly. Does she make for good conversation? Does she laugh at your corny jokes? Is she funny herself? Would you have a good time if you actually took it a step further and went on a date with this particular person? These are all things that you kind of want to be gauging and paying attention to. And I know a lot of you guys are just, hung up on the looks, and you're like, oh man, she looks really good. But, after going on, a certain amount of dates, you'll get to the point where you really just want to be around somebody that, you connect with, where the relationship is meaningful and it extends past the lust aspect. So, you're gonna want to be gauging these things when you do meet women. So in certain cases in the past, I didn't even ask for the number. The conversation didn't flow well. We really weren't vibing like that, and it just didn't make sense for me. So maybe I didn't ask for the number. In other cases, the conversation flowed smoothly and it makes sense, and it just seems like we're really aligned, and then you do go for it. So these are things that you're going to want to be gauging. This is part of being a select man. You're very selective about the people that you allow into your life. So you want to become more selective about these things, because this is going to make you seem even more high value, even more attractive to not only women, but also friends and, potential employers, because they're going to see you as somebody that sees yourself as a catch, as a high value man, a high value employee, whatever the case may be. So tip number 9 is going to be to surround yourself with positive people. So this is going to have an impact on how you perceive yourself and also have an impact on the goals that you choose to go after. So for instance, if you have friends, where you go up and maybe you approach a woman and things don't go as planned, maybe, you don't get the number, or, maybe she says, hey, I have a boyfriend, which may very well be the case. And then these friends, proceed to make fun of you. They laugh at you and, they call you names, so on and so forth. A lot of times these are not the friends that you want to be around because, often these guys can be jealous of you. Maybe you had the courage to do something that they wanted to do, and then, when it doesn't go your way, they want to kind of berate you because of this, or maybe they see that you're leveling up and they don't want you to get too far ahead of them, so they want to keep you down at their level, so to speak. These are things that you're going to want to pay attention to. And of course, not one thing is going to be indicative of a bad friend, right? But you're going to want to look for patterns. Do they have a pattern of acting a certain way? That could be indicative of what they really feel about you. And ultimately, you want to keep people around you that are going to propel you forward and not hold you back. So a good friend in that situation would say, hey, that girl doesn't know what she's missing. Don't even worry about that chick. That's some of the comments my friends will make. So I would encourage you to keep people in your circle that are going to treat you this way, treat you with respect, and motivate you to go forward and achieve your goals. And lastly, for tip number 10, that is going to be to read the Gentleman and Scholar's Ultimate Handbook. So if you guys don't know, the Gentleman and Scholar's Ultimate Handbook, that is a book that I wrote that goes over all the tips that you need to know for dating, style, and personal improvement to 10x your progress and personal development. So I highly encourage you to check that out. And the kicker is you can get that for free on the Gentlemen and Scholars Club website. Yes, that's the Gentlemen and Scholars Club website. All you have to do is enter your name and email, and then it downloads right then and there, right on the spot. And it will definitely assist with getting rid of that approach anxiety. It will help shape your mindset. It will help you to get clear on some of the things that are holding you back in your life that you may not even be aware of. So I would encourage you to check that out. Again, it's on the Gentlemen and Scholars Club website. Well, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. If you do have any questions for me, definitely feel free